Good morning and welcome to City of Light. For our visitors here, I am not Reverend Paul. I want to make that real clear. I'm Reverend John, and I want to welcome you. And we have a guest speaker today, the lovely Reverend Dr. Ursula Litini. I'm so happy she's here. We're going to start off all of our service with our affirmation of faith. It's our affirmation of belief. And it's about to come up on the screen. If you would stand up and join in with me as we say this together. This is a place where people of like mind come together to recognize in Christ's consciousness that there truly is only one power, ever present and all-knowing. We offer a positive and practical approach to a lifetime of spiritual growth. We know we are all spiritual beings having a physical experience in this world. We celebrate our diversity, welcoming everyone in unity. We know that how we act is the greatest expression of what we believe, so we live out our calling to be a light for the world, a light of love, truth, and understanding that is making a difference. And so it is. Please stay standing and sing along with the choir and our opening song. Words will be on the screen.
I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like the ocean, I've got love like the ocean, I've got love like the ocean in my soul. Like a river. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like the ocean, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got peace like a river in my soul.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have the best musicians. Our first act of worship is always doing unto others, giving beyond these walls out into the communities. And so we're going to have the ushers go ahead and come forward with this offering collection. This month we are giving to Crossroads, which is actually housed out of here, but it's a separate organization. And it's a 501c3. You can get a receipt for any donations you make. Crossroads oversees our homeless and hungry program and our clothing bank and our food bank. This week alone, we gave out 61 hot meals to people that came in wanting to be fed. We gave out 90 pounds of groceries to people with a place to take them home. Some of the people on the street, we alter what we give them so that they can eat it on the streets. We give out clothes every week. We even take their clothes that they've been wearing since the last week and launder them. We take them home and wash them. We know all the people, and Richard and I are the only ones that do this, but we go out and find the ones that didn't make it in and make sure they are fed as well. A lot of our wonderful members are supporting us, and we are so grateful. This drive right now is for sleeping bags and book bags or backpacks. If you have used ones, you're welcome to bring them in as long as they're not full of holes. Just remember, I like to give them things that would uplift them. I think if we give them ratty, old, dingy things with holes, it's not going to uplift them. It's going to make them feel undeserving of good. So the only way we can help them really is to pick the very best that we can for them out of what we have. And that's always my goal. In fact, some people tell us when they come in, you treat us like family, and that's why we come here. The other shelters aren't so good. Oh, I wanted to also tell you, we have this wonderful, wonderful congregant that came in this past Friday, Michelle, and she brought food, she brought clothing, and then she said, oh, by the way, I've got 4 pumpkins. Are you still in contact with the family of 8 that's living in one hotel room across the street in the 1-star hotel over there? And so we double-checked, and the family was still there, so she and I went over and offered them the pumpkins, and they're going to cut them up like jack-o'-lanterns as a family project together. They never get to do things like this. And they told me they're going to take all the seeds out and roast them, and it was just going to be a wonderful experience. So we want to thank you, Michelle. Frank and Jeff brought clothes this week. I was telling Frank that as I was picking out clothes, all of a sudden I realized, oh, this is Frank's shirt. And they were bold and fun, and I was pairing them with blue jeans for different guys, and I asked one of the guys, are you concerned about standing out? And he was like, no, I know you have good taste. I'll take whatever you give me. Do we have any first-timers here today? If we do, our ushers will bring you a welcome packet. And afterwards, there will be a gift for you in Perry Hall after the service is over. Let's see. Oh, classes. Classes are ongoing here. This is an Emerson School affiliate. On Tuesday nights at 6, we have The Infinite Way by Joel Goldsmith. Dr. Paul is leading that class. And then on Thursday mornings, he's leading another class called The Power of Positive Energy. And that's at 10:30 a.m., so you don't want to miss that. And if the musicians will come forward, I'd like everyone else to be sitting back and enjoying this meditative song. It's going to lead us into prayer.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me.
You are a part of me.
You are the face of God.
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 I hold you in my heart.
I hold you in my heart.
You are a part of me.
You are a part of me.
You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
You are the face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
I hold you in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love. You are the face of love.
You are the face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
I hold you in my heart.
You are my family. of love.
You are the face of love.
You are a part of me.
You are a part of me.
You are the face of God. On the face of God. You are the face of God.
So beautiful. Thank you. Let's take this time to go into prayer. This is affirmative prayer or spiritual treatment, depending on your background. Let us just close our eyes. And together, let us know this together, that there is one power, one presence, one creative cause, one substance. I call it God. And we are all having our lives in it. For we are in it, and it is within us, seeking expression through us. We are its manifestation. We were once an idea in the mind of God. And any idea in the mind of God now fully manifested is perfection. There is nothing wrong with any of us. We are all perfect, whole and complete. We have only to turn our consciousness to this higher knowing, this upstairs room with the window, to know that we are indeed made in its image. We each have everything we need to go forward, to be the light, to improve our own experience. As we do this, we continuously open ourselves up to more and more good. We open up how much we can receive, and we expand that so that the highest and best continues to be ours as it is offered. We know it is always offered. And so as we open ourselves up, we're better able to receive it. And so let us bring in that light, shine forth that light, be that light as we go on today out into the community, knowing that each person we pass responds to that higher vibration coming from us. We don't even have to speak, and they will have a higher vibration as well. And so it's with thanksgiving that I release these words to the law, to that substance we're living in, knowing that it shapes and shifts and manifests and creates that which is spoken into it, that which is thought, that which is felt, and we get to experience that next. So we pay close attention to our words, to our thoughts, and to our feelings, knowing they are creative. And so we let this be so. We release it as together we say, and so it is. Now enjoy the Lord's Prayer. Just sit back and enjoy it, soak it in. Feel free to sing along if you like.
Our Creator, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have the pleasure of introducing Reverend Ursula Litini. I'm sure I just said that wrong. I've known her forever. I've known her since 2008 when I first started my studies. She was one of the reverends in our big center that was called Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta back then. And we were at the Arts Center on Peachtree Street, the Woodruff's Art Center. She has facilitated over 4,800 individual healing sessions, and she has worked with thousands more in groups. Her private practice includes subconscious work, teaching pranic healing, doing Sunday talks, and leading weekly meditations, which she's done since 2008. She's a licensed minister, a practitioner of internal family systems, a pranic healer, a pranic healing instructor. She answers the call to assist clients with a human longing for peace, clarity, and wellness, and this is just part of her life's purpose. So please join me in welcoming the lovely Dr. Reverend Ursula Litini.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. So happy to be here. Reverend Paul and I have been friends and connected recently, and he said, hey, how do you feel about giving a talk? And I said, heck yeah, that'd be great. So here I am. Thank you for welcoming space and kindness, vibrating, all the kind people. Today's talk is when you love yourself. When you love yourself, everything is much better. Life is really, really beautiful. Our inner world calms down. All of our relationships get better. We can create from them. How does it feel? Love yourself. There's an excitement every morning when you wake up instead of a dread. There's a curiosity that we move through the day. What's going to happen next? Instead of being fearful or closed or cautious. More forward movement, telling. How does it feel when you love yourself? Nobody bothers you because they don't matter more than you do. We've been programmed and conditioned, if you haven't noticed. A lot of the spiritual path is actually learning to love ourselves. People who are coming to the path come because they're longing for different than they have. They have something. They just want more good. They know they have potential. Watch it. You want to see what's really in there. How many of us can say, oh, I've reached my full potential? Nobody, right? I used to have an aunt, and she individually come around and tell us we really haven't reached potential. And we were so shameful, we didn't say anything to anybody else. And then after she passed, Teresa, oh, she said that to me too. And I said, oh. My other aunt, who's also a minister, she said, hooey on that. Put that piece of paper up. It doesn't matter. Because we're here on a journey. We're here to learn. Experiment. Experience. There is no real goal. It's only a destination, a direction. Every day we're on that direction. Goals are for the mind. And how many goals do we actually achieve? Unless we're really smart, we kind of trick the mind and do a little hack. We give ourselves small goals. We can check that off. And then we have that sense of accomplishment, chemical response, and then we feel good. But that's all a hack. But if we don't have goals, because goals set us up for expectation, no expectations set us up. It's all a mind construct. So it's like a whole game. So just throw that game out. That's not a working game, a working model. A friend of mine I met recently, and he said, something I like about you is control your mind, the way you control your mind. And I said, that's interesting. I don't control my mind trusts me. That's a brand new concept for me. Because if you notice this inner world that we have, talking inside our head, one that we don't say anything to anybody because if they knew, they'd think we're crazy. But those thoughts that go on in our head, if you notice there's a lot of arguing. One part will say this, and another part will say that, back and forth. Very similar to the angel, the devil on the shoulder in the cartoon. Remember that back in the day? I mean, it's pretty true. So these voices that we hear in our head, no, we don't have CID. We don't have a split personality. We just have a bunch of ideas based on feelings, based on conclusions that we are a certain way. Believe it or not, most of us, our lives are being run by a 3-year-old inside. Because that's when we concluded, oh, I'm not good. Oh, what I say doesn't really matter. Oh, I get everything wrong, so it's better off if I just... Anybody familiar with those ideas floating around? Like a car on a freeway just driving by all day. That kind of thought coming. And then we'll have another thought that says, no, you're fine. And those two argue. You're good enough. No, you're not. Yes, you are. No, yeah. Yes, you are. So we think that's us thinking this thought all the time. But it's just a part of it that has been conditioned. That 3 part that says, not good enough. Fall. Keep it quiet. So that part is just running around in our subconscious. We don't even know it because we're so familiar with it. But now that we're on our spiritual path, the clicking of the spiritual path is awareness. Greater awareness, greater awareness, greater awareness. So when we're super aware, then we can choose our thoughts. You're old. I don't like you anymore. Get out. So this inner world that we're living in, when we love ourselves, kinder, because we can actually identify who's talking down. Which part of me is trying to manage this situation that I'm in? Does anyone have a manager inside telling them all day long? Only 2 of us? Oh, that's more like it. Okay. I like to keep things really honest. So this manager is really supposed to be helping us, right? Like a mother just running over all day. Are you doing this? Did you do that? What time is it? Are you They're trying to help, but really they're harassing. You feel harassed by that part of you? Right, so then we say, okay, you know what? I don't want to be harassed. Why don't you back it up? And what's your problem anyway? Because that part's friends with not good enough. So it's saying, well, since you're not good enough, let me help you. Here, do this, fix that. So now you have 2 people ganged up inside of you. So then, of course, on any good street gang, situation, you need another 2 gang members to say, she's fine, leave her alone. Or he's doing it. Look, we're on time. Look, everything's fine. But it's still a lot of arguing. So all of this inner peace that I'm talking about, this inner chatter, we can get everybody to calm down by focusing on the bad guy and letting them know, you know what? It's okay. When I was a kid, I always was in trouble. And I realized that I'm in trouble all the time because I keep making mistakes. Because when I make a mistake, something gets broken, I get yelled at, I get in trouble, I get grounded. And then so I said, well, I know how to fix this. I just won't make any more mistakes. So then a perfectionist was built. Okay, anticipate everything that could go wrong and don't do that. That's a lot of work for a 5-year-old. So then we do this hypervigilant thing going on in our head all the time. But that's not a relaxed way that a child learns. I'm a youth minister, and I teach children about spirituality and respect and self-confidence. How can we be in the world, still be ourselves, even as a kid? So when I was teaching the children, I realized your job is to make mistakes, because your job is to learn. So how are you going to learn without making mistakes? Part of your job as a child is to make mistakes. I wish I was told that when I was a kid, because I would have felt like I was in trouble all the time. And I would have had the perfectionist part and all those parts behind that picking on me, trying to make me a good person when I already was a good person. Just like me, everybody. We're already good people. We're really designed to be a loving person. So if you think back in your own childhood, were you kind? Respectful? Sweet? Yes. Be a little monster? Yes. But it's just different parts of it. So why are we always focusing on the monster that we were? Because that's natural human nature. We also have a beautiful, loving. We always focus on bad because that's the way our brain is wired, our animal brain is wired. Otherwise, we would die regularly. So it's like a survival mechanism. Just like if our body, we have, look at 100% body. Look how much measurement every little morsel of this skin is. But when you get a little sticker, a little picker in there, that's all of our attention, right? Oh, the skin inside of me. We're not like, oh, 99.95% of me is awesome, but I got this one little thing. No, we're like, oh, this is awesome. That's how we pick on ourselves. But if we can start focusing on what I'm really a person. Yeah, I make mistakes. So what? It's okay. Oh, I didn't get my impossible list done today. Who's the list maker making the list impossible? Another unkind part of us. So we're seeing who's inside of running the show, and how can I get that inner peace more balanced? How can I bring an equilibrium? When I say trust, mind trust. So in the subconscious work that I do, the premise is there's our truest self, our highest vibration, our most godlike angel self that's inhabiting our physical body. I call it the energy that's beating our heart and breathing our lungs. It's an invisible, silent part of us. That's life force. It's our aliveness. If we think about it, that's more of who I am, you are, than the ego, the ideas, the thoughts, the storyline, right? All the chatter. If I could get everybody to calm down in there and focus on this inner silence, what do you think? You want to ruin your life? I love you. Best person. That part of us doesn't even think beyond thought. It's just pure love. But all my parts, all my voices can do a great job at blocking that. So can we say, you know what? I'm alive and that's enough? Be lovable. All these other chatters over there. What do you need? Where did that come from? Where did that idea come from? And in the subconscious work I do, we go back into a time and a place where that originated. Again, 3 years old. Oh, but that's not the truth. That's your interpretation. That's the people around you indicating that about you. Guess what? They inherited from their folks. It's like dirty laundry instead of a dowry being passed down. You're like, really? Thanks. It's sorry, we couldn't clean this up. So, this addiction and abuse stuff. Your turn. Good luck. When we have this inheritance, we don't even realize it. We, of course, take it personally because everyone's, talking exactly to us, pointing at us, screaming at us. But it's the truth of us is we are loved. And this is a story that we've been interpreting. Now, as responsible beings, spiritual, having a human experience, we can heal it. Because there's some works that they go in and they just kind of reframe it. It's like taking a picture and then they put other colors on top of it. I'm like, that's not real. But if we can say to our ancestors inside who are still living through us, right? They're in the DNA, but they're also in our culture. They're also in our voices in our head. Because when your mom's always like on you, as a kid, we'll say, oh, I know what she's going to say, so I'm going to say it first in my head so I don't give them the pleasure of the criticism or the beating or, whatever it was in your family. I call that part beating them to the punch. Then we have like this mini controller inside trying to manage everything. We don't have the punishment and consequence of the elder. See how that is? See how they all sneak in there and you're like, wow, too much talking going on. Look how many parts I've just talked about. So that's the inner chatter that we can work on, because then our truest self has a relationship with all these parts. Once we go in and we start bursting them, healing the things of the ancestors, generations ago that we don't even know the original storyline of why that family lies or why that family cheats. But I can go back into time and space. We can hear the story and be like, oh, yeah, no wonder it's taken 5 generations. We survived through incredible things. And here we are. This is mild that we're experiencing this today's culture compared to just World War II. My mom's 85 years old. Child during that war. So I have that knowingness in the house of how bad things can be. And we cultivate joy and happiness and laughter because we know the balance of it, right? Everything's trying to balance itself out. So this inner chatter, when we love ourselves, quieter, because these parts of us have learned to trust this inner self. That's why I'm not trying to control anybody. I've gone in and been kind to parts of me that have been unkind. Right? Just like the service work that when any of us, we're being kind to. Oh, if you've done any service, walk out with a lot more benefit. Because it's that law of circulation. What we're giving, we're receiving. Because we give here, but we receive. Really beautiful. The relationship that we can build with our inner parts. Our parts will say, oh my God, this crisis is happening. Right? If your family's dramatic, you know how that goes. So then there's enough self that can show up and say, hey, here, I got you. Then that crisis part is like, huh? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay, you sure? Yeah, watch, I'll prove it to you. And that's how we earn trust. So if I'm meeting a friend and I'm a new person, I don't give them 100% trust. That's foolish. I have an experience. Oh, that went well. I have another experience. Oh, that went well. Share something personal. Oh, they didn't say anything mean. Okay, that went well. Trust is developed over time through experience. For our bravery to open ourselves. And then it gets developed. That's how trust is earned. So if we're learning to earn our own trust with our own hearts, then that trust is established. I don't have to control anybody. Because if some part of me has a problem, they'll be like, I'm like, what's the matter? I feel anxious about this thing. Okay, we'll have a little talk about it. And then we'll just have a little talk. But I don't have that anxious part come in and steal the microphone in my head. Drive me crazy. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy enjoying my peace and pleasure. So if one of my parts show up, say, okay, what do you need? What's going on? Okay, I got you. Nope, I don't have any answers either, but I'm not going to fret about it. Those frettings are an emotional choice that we don't realize we're making. But when we have that a greater awareness, because the inner world is calmer, we can see that. I've got a fretter. Alert, alert, there's a fretter in the house. Hello, fret. What's up? So that's how we do this inner world. When we love ourselves, we have better relationships. You see how I've already established relationships with my inner world. But now when I'm talking to actual real people who also are modeling these energies, then I can have a better relationship with them because I've learned to talk kindly to my own parts. If I'm talking to a real physical person, I'm coming from a kind place because all of my parts are more kind. So this person receives me as a person, and then guess which parts of them come out? Like attracts like. Immediately they want to be kind to me. Oh, that's such a kind person. And they're like, oh, that's such a kind person. All of our kind parts can communicate. And the world becomes a much easier place to navigate. Then if I meet somebody and they don't have a kind part that's out, my kindness increases. I become more compassionate to that unkind part within me. Say, are you fretting? And I work with them the same way I would work with my fretting. Because I know what that means. I know why the fretting is there. I know how nerve-wracking it is to fret. I don't want the person to fret. I want them to feel kind. So I offer them kind, I offer them compassion, just like I do to my inner world. How that all works? So once we do the inside, outside people are secondary. So if somebody comes to me and they're trying to overpower me, have authority, or judge me, how hard I've worked to organize everybody inside. Like, I don't do harassing inside. So I'm not going to allow you to come into my world and harass me or any of my parts. So they don't get very far. I'll let them spill, and I'll listen carefully. What's behind this thing that they're saying? Because I have enough calmness, a culture of stability inside, that I can listen without getting triggered and then have compassion where this person is coming from. So no one can mess with me. I come from the culture, speak softly and carry a big stick. So I'm from Detroit, and I have a Detroit girl inside, and anybody messes with me, they're going to find out where I'm from. Because she'll come out, and she will not tolerate. Because I've had enough. People in Detroit, they don't have time to tolerate. So I will not tolerate. So my kind parts can be out in the open. And when I was younger, the Detroit girl, was the first one people would meet. What do you want? Trying to mess with me? I don't trust you. But now I'm like, okay, girlfriend. You go in the back. We'll call you if we need you. You see how we can all just keep arrangement? When we love ourselves, our inner world gets calmer, and our relationships, and from there we can create. Because if I'm not in a place of conflict all the time, what am I going to do with all of this energy? They did a study back in the day, I saw it recently, and it was about population control. So a scientist, made an environment for mice. Okay, no predators, all the food and water is taken care of, you are sheltered. Because as an animal, that's your primary concern. So if all the needs were met, then what happens? They just have lots of sex. And I realized, because we have so much energy, not spending it, what are we doing here? So if I'm not spending all the energy on a polarized situation, then how can I spend all of that energy? It comes front and center, and I can create. When I love myself, I can be more creative. I can wake up with that curiosity. Have more ideas. What do I want to do? How can I serve the world? What can I do now in my business, my relationship? How can I redo my backyard? Fun thing. Have some more time and space for this consume. So let's do a little mind treatment. We can have a deep understanding of what this is inside of us. Create better relationships with ourselves, with other people, and then be more creative from there. Fold your body and legs. Let the tongue float to the roof of your mouth. Settle in. One universe. Silence. Wells in our heart, spark of life. That's the ego has gets to follow that lead. Polarize God with it. This bigness. That reality. It's the most beautiful part of us. Dependable, stable, doesn't even need, has a no on the heart every day. That's love. No matter how what we fight. How can I be that for every part of me? Fretting, worrying, not good. Who do you think you are? So thinking all your voices love you. You're good enough. Love is always the solution. Heal the foundation. When we love ourselves, all of us, release the gratitude. ask thoughts and ideas and involved. Full faith.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Ursula. Now we come to our offering, and we've been talking about being in the flow. In fact, she even mentioned it during her talk, giving and receiving. So now is the time we give, and I ask that you give yourself the opportunity to receive this week. Welcome a compliment. If someone compliments you, say thank you, receive it. Don't say, oh, no, not me. But you look great. That's deflecting. For you to be in the flow, you give and receive, and I want to challenge you to receive this week. Welcome it. And we have an offering statement. Here we go. Let's say this together. City of Light is a thriving community that is experiencing the abundance of God. We are growing and flourishing because we believe and practice the teaching of spiritual truth. As we give and receive, we join in the divine flow. We know that all we share with life returns to us multiplied abundantly, and so it is. Ushers, please come forward. Thank you. Thank you for being with us today. At the end of the service, we'll have prayer partners right here. If anyone wants a prayer, affirmative prayer for anything going on with you. I want to thank Dr. Ursula. She's been my hero a long time, and we've worked together a long time at different centers. Refreshments are being served in Perry Hall, which is right behind us after the service, so we want you to join in and participate in that. And if you would, please stand as we sing along with the choir the peace song.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as my center, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins